Okay, so we have just knocked up another batch of our primer 1:1, 50-50 mix, whatever you would like to call it. Knocked it up and I've just finished rolling it across the self-leveling compound which we laid out just a few hours ago. So I'm going to put that down and we are going to move on to the Ultra Tile ProFlex Rapid Set Tile Adhesive, known as the blue bag, to keep things nice and simple. So I'm going to pick this up and we're going to go and make a mix over here. Okay, so now we are moving into phase 4. So we've primed our surface, we self-leveled the surface, we primed it again, and now it is time to knock up our tile adhesive. We'll be using the ProFlex Rapid Set Adhesive, which goes off very, very fast. So if you're walking into a job and you want to get in and out, which I know a lot of people do, I'm a tradesman myself, and you don't want to be hanging around all day because hanging around is a waste of time, which is also a waste of money. So an investment like this isn't such a bad idea. Goes off in 3 hours, go and grab a bite to eat, come back, and you can start grouting. So what we're going to do is going to crack open the bag, drop it into the water, 4.5 litres of cold, fresh water. Once again, give it a nice, good mix. Fully empty the content into the bucket, and you're going to notice a bit of a mountain of dust coming through the centre. Don't forget to put your glasses on, and away we go. Okay, so you're looking for that nice consistency all the way through, no lumps and bumps from the pack that you've poured in. Nice and smooth, ready to move on back onto our self-level board and start spreading the adhesive across. Okay, so now the fun part. Our primer has gone off and I've got my fast set tile adhesive here next to me. So what I'm going to do, nice and easy, just throw a few dollops of that without making a complete mess onto my self-leveled and double primed board. So that should be enough to get us through. Hopefully it is. I'll see as I go. So first off, you're going to just try your best to move it all the way around the board. So I can see that I'm a little bit short there already. Just going to start bringing that through. Really, the first stage is just making sure you've got the whole board covered. You can worry about making it pretty afterwards. This stage, see, I can already see I'm running short. This might happen when you're doing your tiling at home or your little DIY project or whatever it may be. Just make sure you've got plenty of that adhesive on there. Okay, so the good thing about this adhesive is you have got an hour to work with it. This is considered working with it, what I'm doing now. And then you've got 4 hours before the adhesive goes off behind the tiles so that you can start grouting. So there you go, you can see I've created that nice symmetrical pattern running all the way through there. Now my surface is ready for some tiles. So we're going to keep this in our hand as opposed to the bucket trowel. I'm going to take our first tile. All right, now this is something that a lot of people miss when they're doing tiling, and that is the back butter. So a good amount of adhesive on the back of the tile. This can be quite messy as you're bringing it towards you. Sometimes just use a little ledge to lean it on and just make sure you get a real nice coverage all the way over the back of the tile, but not too thick, nice and thin. Get that out of your way. I'm going to start planting these tiles on. Can be a bit messy at times, ladies and gents. You notice I'm getting a full coverage all the way over there, all the way on the back of the tile. We are going to be putting 2mm spacers in between these tiles anyway, so I'm going to roughly eye it up so that I'm ready for my next tile to go on. It's actually one of the more satisfying parts about tiling, so make sure you do not miss this stage. It's okay if you have a bit of adhesive protruding some of the tiles. We are going to give this a clean after they're installed. Iron it up again, onto the last one. Spacers at the ready. Smaller tile, smaller dob on the back. I'm going to plop that down. Okay, so now we are ready for our spacers. We're using 2mm spacers in this instance, and we're literally just going to tuck them in like that, nice and simple. This stage is very important, obviously, because this affects the finish of the job. You don't want big gaps when you come to grout and stuff. It's going to look quite messy. So, you know, if it's a little bit tight, push the next tile into the space so you can kind of feel it really pinching together now. Last one down there. Okay, so we have now finished installing our 4 tiles with the fast set tile adhesive. So what we're going to do now is we're going to give the surface a little clean. Pop these gloves off, we don't want to get them soaking wet. Get them spacers out of the way and just bring our bucket up. So one of the 4 sponges, which we were talking about earlier, or you might be seeing very soon. Just going to make sure that 95% of the water is actually out and left in the bucket, and it is now just time to give it a rough clean, because you're going to have to do this a few times. It's not just going to be once. The more wipes you give it, the better, just so when you come to grout, there's nothing in your way. So just take the main chunk of it off with the sponge, flipping it around. And you can see that that is looking a hell of a lot better than it did about 2 seconds ago. So one more quick squeeze of the sponge in the bucket. Rinsing it off again, and then just go over. If you do need to pop out some of these spacers, just so you can get right in there, that's not a problem. As I said, you're going to be doing this multiple times, making sure everything's all nice and clean. Taking them out one by one. Not really causing too much movement that way, which is nice. Back down. And ready to go.